What's up guys, it's Meg. Welcome back to Meg After Dark. Today we're talking about the latest episode of The Walking Dead. This is a very late review, I am sorry, but what a weird, crazy episode, right? I found myself literally yelling at the screen the entire time. So many moments that just pissed me off. I mean, there were some great moments, but for one, let's talk about Daryl, because he's a huge topic of conversation, and quite frankly I think a lot of people are wishing that he'd just die off already. Now, I have been a big Daryl fan for a very long time, pretty much since the beginning. I've always liked his character and I've thoroughly enjoyed watching him change and progress as a character, starting back in season 1 all the way up to where he's at now. Now, I will admit that in season 7 I did not really enjoy where his character was going. Once he was done being a captive with the Saviors, I found that I didn't like how he had changed, and obviously being held captive and tortured, he wasn't really like physically tortured, but the mental torture that he endured while he was there was a lot for him, and I can understand certain character changes due to that. So, but what I don't like, and I think I was thinking about it today because something about him last episode just really rubbed me the wrong way, and it bothered me because I've been a Daryl fan for a really long time and I couldn't believe that my mind was actually thinking like, what the hell's wrong with him? But when you look at places like the kingdom, for example, with Ezekiel, and the amount of loyalty and the level of loyalty that Ezekiel's men give him, or gave him, since most of them are dead now, and it's a bit extreme, the fact that most of the people that are around him would give their lives for him, but there is loyalty there, and respect for him as a leader. And what I find very frustrating is that Daryl has been with Rick since the very beginning, and Rick has pretty much been the leader of their group throughout all of those seasons, throughout all of that time. And the fact that Daryl has so little respect for Rick as his leader, as someone who has only like tried to do good for the group, he has so little respect for him that he can't even let Rick's plan play out and see how it goes. He's so like single-minded, he's so singly focused on like one thing that he can't see the bigger picture here. And that also goes for Tara and Morgan as well, since Morgan also helped. But a lot of it is Daryl, you know? Tara has been with the group, but she hasn't been there since the beginning. And the fact that Daryl has been with Rick for so long, I can't even show him enough respect to like go with his plan, that just feels like he can just go and do whatever he wants, and that he's just gonna take matters into his own hands and do whatever he wants or what he thinks is the best thing to do. It's so frustrating because you would think that like, come on dude, at least let Rick's plan play out and then go do whatever the fuck you want, you know? But like, don't just go off half-cocked thinking you know what you're gonna do and that it's gonna work. And it just, I felt so frustrated, and obviously for good reason, because at the end of the episode Rick finds out that the Saviors have killed all of the walkers and have escaped, and it just throws the whole plan into chaos. So that leads us to our mid-season finale coming this Sunday here in another day, and all hell is gonna break loose, and Negan's men are, Negan's out, the Saviors are out, they're all out, and they're coming for Rick and Alexandria, and there's gonna be a lot more casualties, especially for Rick's group, I feel like, than there would have been if Daryl had just let the plan play out. The whole plan was to keep Negan and keep the Saviors locked in the sanctuary and have them eat all their food and run out of food and not be able to leave and then surrender, saving lives, obviously, especially lives of the innocent people that are there at the sanctuary, and also being able to get them to surrender and take Negan, kill Negan, whatever. You know, so the plan made sense, but because Daryl went and just put a whole kibosh on that plan, now it's just going to be a crazy episode. And of course, you know, we knew that it was gonna happen. Nothing can go according to plan in The Walking Dead. But it would have been nice for Daryl to show a little bit more respect for Rick as a leader. That being said, Michonne and Rosita actually had some common sense and bailed on the plan before it was put into motion, which is great. It shows that Michonne respects Rick, not only as a leader, but also as a partner. And that Rosita, even with everything that she's been through, even with her seeing Abraham get killed, and you know that she was disgusted with Rick, that Rick couldn't have prevented it, but you know, at least she saw that the plan was a good one and that she wanted to see it play out, and she didn't go against Rick, even with everything that's happened. So praise to Michonne and Rosita. Thank God that they have some common sense. Tara and Morgan helping Daryl. We know Morgan's going to fear. We don't really know how at this point. It'll be interesting to see if he survives this mid-season finale. As for Tara, I feel like her end is coming soon. I feel like things are building here. And because her and Daryl went off on this together, I mean, I could honestly see either one of them dying at this point. They've really been leading Daryl down this weird path, and maybe they're leading up to his death. Or maybe they're leading up to Tara's death, and Daryl will see that he can't go against Rick's plan. I loved the moment too when, and now all of a sudden I can't, was that in this last episode or the episode before? But when Rosita said, "I believe in Rick Grimes," it was amazing. I loved it. Such a good moment. And was that in this episode or the last episode? Was it even Rosita? Because now that I say that, I'm like questioning myself. But I loved hearing that line there, especially because as a fan, we've heard that line so many times over the years, but just seeing that, hearing that be said on the show, and it's like, yeah, you should believe in Rick Grimes because he has gotten you guys this far already. Moving on, since I've ranted for almost 8 minutes on Daryl, I want to talk about Dwight and Eugene. There was so much Eugene in this episode, and I found myself just, every time he spoke, I was like, I hate you even more. I loved the scene between Dwight and Eugene where Dwight kind of backs Eugene up and makes him sit, and you can tell Eugene is really scared in that moment, and Dwight is just right up in his face. And I love the visual shot of like how close the cameras were to Dwight and then Eugene. It was just a really good shot for that scene and to kind of give us a feeling of what was going on here. But what I liked even more was that even though you could tell that Eugene was scared, he still was like very firm in his beliefs and still stood up to Dwight, even knowing that Dwight could have done anything to him in that moment. And he stood up to Dwight. And I really enjoyed that moment from the show. It was one of my favorite scenes. Dwight ruined Eugene's plan, thank God. I was really pissed when he went down to Sasha's coffin and took the iPod. But throughout this episode, you see there's so many different people talking to Eugene and trying to like convince him of, you know, to switch sides, that he was doing the wrong thing, that he was making the wrong choice. There were so many different, we had Dwight saying it, we had Gabriel saying it, we had the images, flashbacks of Sasha. There were just a lot of moments I felt like for Eugene where he was trying to like stick to his guns. He was trying to stick to his beliefs that he was doing the right thing the whole episode. And then all the way at the end of the episode, oh, and the Negan's wife, can't remember her name, coming in as well. It just really felt like there were all these people that were, all these voices coming at him, basically telling him he was doing the wrong thing, and he was trying so hard, especially when he yells at Gabriel. He was trying so hard to be like, I am doing the right thing. Like almost if he would yell it louder, that would make him believe it even more. And then we see him at the very end with the bottle, and he's like throwing up in the sink and stuff, and he's just so emotional in that moment that I honestly feel like, you know, at the beginning of this episode, I was like, there's no redemption for Eugene. There's no going back. He's firmly planted on the savior's side, on Negan's side. He wants to save his own tail. That's what he said even during this episode. But moving through the episode, at the very end, that emotional moment for Eugene where he's like crying and vomiting, and I just really felt like there might actually be a chance where he's been his mind is changing here, and maybe he's realizing that no matter how much he says he's made the right choice, he's realizing that he hasn't. And maybe there's a slim chance of him redeeming himself in the mid-season finale. If not, if he doesn't, then he's dead to me. Fuck him. But I think there might be a small chance. Moving along, it does appear that Gabriel is really sick. I was really hoping that he was like playing it up to get close to Dr. Carson in order to protect Dr. Carson if the walkers got in from Negan, like to basically was willing to give his life to do one last good thing, because he did say in his episode with Negan that he wanted his death to mean something. He wanted to it felt to me like he wanted to do anything that would give his death meaning. I literally just said that sentence, but like if he died saving Dr. Carson, that would be worth it. If he died saving his people or doing something kind of like Sasha, doing something that would benefit the people back at Alexandria, benefit Rick's group, then he would be okay dying for that. And so I was thinking this whole time, like hoping that he was faking in order to get close to Dr. Carson. It was hot in there, you know, so that would explain the sweat, but they've strung us along here, and it seems like in this episode that he really is sick. And I feel like in the back of my mind, there's still like a small hope that maybe he is still playing it up. But I don't know. It kind of pisses me off that they're gonna have Gabriel go out this way. It's upsetting. It really is, to be honest. I don't want him to die. I think that his character has been getting so good lately that it would just be a really big bummer to see him go out this quickly and in this way. Like, what is even wrong with him? I feel like it's probably from the, like maybe he had some kind of wound on him and putting the walker guts. That was kind of something that happened in the comics, not with him, but you know, where there's a cut and the walker blood gets in, and Negan's men kind of realize that you can get an infection that way. So I'm curious to see if that's kind of how they're playing this, that maybe he's got an infection or something. It just seems so weird for him to get sick so quickly. It's definitely not like a cold or flu or something. Okay, moving along, back to Rick, because Rick is amazing. Rick was tied up with the garbage people, with Jadis, and Jadis was going to sculpt him and was taking snapshots of him, and it was just like this really weird interaction. And I thought this whole time that Rick had some other plan, like he knew he was gonna get captured, so you know, it was to distract them maybe, and more of Rick's men were gonna come in, and I don't know. I honestly don't know. I just thought there was some bigger plan. Turns out there really wasn't. He was just so confident that he could convince Jadis or take Jadis out that he just went in there. And sure enough, hands tied, only in his boxers, he fought off a walker, at least 2 or 3 of Jadis's men, and pinned Jadis to the ground, where she could have gotten eaten. It was pretty amazing, and I think that Jadis was really like taken with Rick and how like powerful he was in that moment. We know that the garbage people in Jadis, they always take the best deal. So whoever, they have no loyalties here. Whoever offers them the best deal, they will take it. And I don't know that Rick was offering the best deal, but I think that he really impressed her in that moment. And so she was willing to hear him out. Now, she goes with him to the sanctuary only to find that the sanctuary is not 20 walkers deep, that all of the walkers have been killed, and the saviors have used all their bullets killing these walkers because Eugene has promised to make them more. And I don't know where we go from here. I am guessing that Jadis is still going to stay on Rick's side, but to be honest, I have no freaking clue. The episode next week, actually in a couple days here, looks so freaking intense. Immediately got flashbacks to season 7 with all of Negan's traps leading Rick's group right where he wanted them to go, when Maggie is in the car with Jesus. It was terrifying for me watching that promo and seeing the tree down. It was just like immediate flashback, and of course I'm sure it was a flashback for her. I am so interested to see what happens and worried, extremely worried to see what happens next episode. It's 90 minutes and I have heard rumors of who the death is, unfortunately, because people can't keep their fucking mouths shut. Please, if you know, do not post in the comments of this video. We are a spoiler-free channel. And I try so hard not to see anything so that my reactions are authentic, and I just don't like to be spoiled. So I've heard rumor, and I'm not sure because I haven't sought out the information to confirm anything because I don't want to read any spoilers. So I'll believe it when I see it, because quite frankly it sounds so outrageous that I just like, I'll believe it when I see it. But it's frustrating to me that I'm going into this episode having heard something that might be true. So please be respectful of spoilers and do not bring them to this channel because it's very upsetting for me. That's it for my review. I enjoyed this episode a lot, actually, despite my annoyances with Eugene and Daryl, and I'm still a team Daryl, sort of. I support him a little bit, as long as he gets back on board with Rick. Hopefully he sees that he's done wrong for a second time here. But yeah, I don't know if I can be fully Daryl anymore, because I really just, I don't like what he's done. So I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna come back from this. It's very weird, the path that his character is going. All right. I have rambled on long enough. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please like it and please subscribe. I will see you guys next Sunday night for the 90-minute mid-season finale. I will cry right along with you guys, and I will be here. We will have a support group for the long break until the series comes back, and we will mourn our losses as we find out. I don't want to find out, you guys. I am so nervous. Okay, bye.